Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gambling Flow, your daily hit of all things gambling. I'm your host, Russell Kane, and I'm really excited for today's deep dive.
And I'm Fiona Blake, delighted to be back with you.
It's fantastic to have you here, Fiona.
Mhm.
Your expertise in the gambling world is so valuable to our listeners, and today we're going to tackle a topic that I think is alluring and often misunderstood.
Oh, absolutely.
Slot machines.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack strategies,
Yes.
debunk some myths, and really equip you with the knowledge to make smart decisions, whether you're playing online or in a buzzing casino.
It's amazing how much misinformation is out there about slots. People cling to ideas like hot and cold machines.
Right.
Or that betting max somehow changes the odds in your favor.
Yeah, that's right. It's all about understanding that every spin is a fresh start, thanks to something called a random number generator, or RNG.
Yes. Think of the RNG as a constantly churning digital lottery, spitting out numbers at lightning speed. Each number corresponds to a specific outcome on those reels.
Right.
So when you hit that spin button, the outcome is already determined by that random number, completely independent of any previous spin.
So those streaks of wins or losses, those gut feelings that a machine is due, they're really just our brains trying to find patterns
Exactly.
in randomness.
Exactly. And it's important to understand that betting more doesn't change the odds generated by that RNG. Sure, some machines might offer higher payouts for max bets, but your chances of actually hitting a winning combination remain the same.
So those bet max buttons should really be labeled potential payout maximizers,
Yeah,
if we want to be accurate.
I like that.
And what about casino loyalty programs?
Ah.
Do they secretly tweak the odds in your favor?
No loyalty programs are designed to reward players, but they don't influence the RNG or your chances of winning. Those rewards come in the form of perks, bonuses, and exclusive offers, but they don't change the fundamental math of the game.
Okay, last myth to bust.
Okay.
Are there truly luckier times a day to play slots? Should we all be setting our alarms for 3:00 a.m.?
Oh, definitely not. The beauty of the RNG is that it's constantly working day and night. It doesn't care if it's dawn, noon, or midnight. The numbers are always churning, making each spin a completely independent event.
So whether you're a night owl or an early bird, your odds are the same. Now that we've cleared the air about those myths, let's move on to strategies that actually matter. Fiona, what's the first thing our listeners should consider when choosing a slot machine?
The key is to look beyond those flashing lights and catchy themes and focus on two crucial factors, RTP and volatility.
All right, let's break those down. What exactly is RTP, and why should it matter to our listeners?
RTP stands for return to player. It's a percentage that indicates the average amount of money a slot machine is expected to pay back to players over time. For example, an RTP of 96% means that for every $100 wagered, the machine is designed to return $96 to players over the long run. Obviously, this is a theoretical figure,
Right.
but that gives you a good indication of how generous a machine is.
So the higher the RTP, the better our chances of walking away with some winnings.
Exactly. You'll want to seek out machines with an RTP of 95% or higher to maximize your potential returns. Now, keep in mind that this doesn't mean you're guaranteed to win that percentage back every session. It's all about long-term averages.
That makes sense. So RTP is like a long-term investment strategy for slots.
Mhm.
What about volatility? How does that factor into our decision-making?
Volatility, also known as variance, refers to the risk level associated with a particular slot machine. Essentially tells you how often a machine pays out and the size of those payouts. Low volatility slots tend to pay out more frequently, but the wins are smaller. High volatility slots, on the other hand, pay out less often, but when they do, the wins can be significant.
So choosing between low and high volatility comes down to personal preference and risk tolerance.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoy frequent, smaller wins that keep your bankroll ticking over low volatility slots are a good choice. If you're chasing those big life-changing jackpots and are willing to ride out some dry spells, then high volatility slots might be more your style.
So it's all about knowing your own playing style and what kind of thrill you're seeking. And what about those machines that offer free spins and bonus rounds? Are those just flashy distractions, or can they actually improve our chances?
Free spins and bonus rounds are definitely worth paying attention to. They're not just gimmicks. They can actually boost your winning potential without requiring you to increase your bet. Free spins give you the opportunity to spin the reels without dipping into your own bankroll, and bonus rounds often feature multipliers, special symbols, or even mini games that can lead to significant payouts.
So they're like little gifts from the slot gods.
Precisely. And speaking of gifts, understanding pay tables is crucial for making informed decisions. They might seem like a wall of text at first glance, but they hold the key to unlocking a machine's secrets.
All right, Fiona, take us to school on pay tables. What do our listeners absolutely need to know about them?
Think of the pay table as a slot machine's instruction manual. It shows you all the possible winning combinations, the symbols to look out for, and the payouts for each combination. It's crucial to study the pay table before you start spinning because they can vary significantly from machine to machine.
So it's not just about lining up matching symbols, it's about understanding which symbols are the most valuable and what kind of payouts we can expect for different combinations.
Exactly. And here's a key point. The amount you bet often influences your potential winnings. Many machines have multiple pay lines, and betting the maximum amount usually activates all of them.
So that's why you sometimes see players hitting that bet max button religiously.
It's not about changing the odds. It's about maximizing their potential payout if they hit a winning combination across all those activated pay lines.
Hmm.
Of course, this means you're risking more per spin, so it's a strategy that should be used carefully.
Right. It's all about finding the right balance between risk and reward. Now, Fiona, let's dive into some of the key features that our listeners should be on the lookout for when choosing a slot machine. What are the elements that can really elevate the gameplay and boost winning potential?
There are several features that can spice up the game and potentially lead to bigger wins. Wild symbols, for example, are like the jokers of the slot world.
I've definitely seen those pop up on the reels.
Yeah.
How do they work?
Wilds can substitute for other symbols to help you create winning combinations. They can turn a near miss into a big win, and some machines even have expanding wilds that can cover entire reels, creating even more winning opportunities.
Okay, so wilds are like our little helpers on the reels.
Mhm.
What else should we be looking for?
Bonus rounds are another exciting feature to keep an eye out for. They're essentially mini games within the main game that can trigger all sorts of exciting prizes.
I've seen bonus rounds that take you to completely different screens with interactive elements. It's like stepping into a whole new game.
Exactly. Bonus rounds often feature free spins, multipliers that boost your winnings, or even interactive challenges that can lead to big payouts. They're a great way to break up the monotony of spinning the reels and add an extra layer of excitement into the game.
Speaking of excitement, free spins are always a welcome sight.
Absolutely. Free spins give you the chance to spin the reels without spending any of your own money, so it's a win-win situation. They're often triggered by landing a certain number of scatter symbols on the reels or by unlocking a special feature within the game.
It's like getting a free pass to spin the Wheel of Fortune. And then there are multipliers, which I know can really amp up those winnings.
Multipliers are a fantastic way to boost your payouts. Imagine hitting a winning combination and then having it doubled or even tripled by a multiplier. It can turn a decent win into a truly impressive one.
It's like adding rocket fuel to your winnings. And finally, we have the holy grail of slot features, the ones that dreams are made of progressive jackpots.
Oh, yes, progressive jackpots. These are the life-changing jackpots that grow over time as players bet on the machine. A small percentage of each bet contributes to the jackpot pool, which can reach staggering amounts, sometimes even millions of dollars.
It's like a lottery within a slot machine.
Exactly. And the thrill of knowing that any spin could potentially trigger that massive jackpot is what draws many players to progressive slots.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've debunked myths, talked about RTP and volatility, and explored key features like wild symbols, bonus rounds, free spins, multipliers, and those elusive progressive jackpots. Now let's shift gears and talk about some popular techniques that players often use when trying to crack the slot code.
Sounds good to me. One technique I often hear about is the 5-spin rule.
Okay, what's the logic behind that one?
The 5-spin rule suggests that you observe the outcomes of the first 5 spins on a machine before deciding whether to continue playing. The idea is to get a feel for whether the machine is hot or cold.
That seems like a reasonable approach. Does it actually hold any weight?
Unfortunately, not really. We need to remember that every spin is governed by that RNG we talked about earlier. The outcome of the first 5 spins has absolutely no bearing on what will happen on the 6th spin or any subsequent spin.
So the 5-spin rule is essentially a superstition, a way for players to try to impose some sense of order on a game that's inherently random.
Exactly. It's a fun way to approach the game, but it's not a strategy that's going to increase your odds of winning.
Fair enough. Now let's talk about bet management, which seems crucial, especially when you're caught up in the excitement of spinning those reels.
Absolutely. Bet management is one of the most important aspects of playing slots responsibly and maximizing your enjoyment.
So what are your top tips for managing our bets effectively?
The key is to set a budget before you start playing, and most importantly, stick to it. Determine how much you're comfortable spending and treat that amount as entertainment money.
Easier said than done, right? especially when those wins start rolling in and you feel like you're on a lucky streak.
I know it can be tempting to chase those losses or keep pushing your luck when you're winning, but trust me, setting those limits and sticking to them is crucial for keeping the experience enjoyable and preventing those wins from turning into regrets.
It's about having fun, not breaking the bank. Now, before we move on, any other key tips our listeners should keep in mind when it comes to making smart choices at the slots?
Remember what we discussed earlier about RTP choose machines with higher RTPs whenever possible? It's also a good idea to keep an eye out for casino bonuses or promotions.
Oh yeah, those can be really valuable.
They can give you extra playing time, free spins, or bonus cash that can boost your bankroll and increase your chances of hitting those winning spins.
So it's all about being a savvy player, not just relying on luck. Now, Fiona, let's wrap up this section with some essential slot do's and don'ts. Hit us with your top tips to help our listeners navigate the world of slots like pros.
Okay, here we go. First, DO bet the maximum amount when possible, but only if your budget allows. This activates all pay lines, giving you more opportunities to win on each spin and increasing your potential payout if you hit a winning combination.
So sometimes going big is the right move, as long as we're playing within our limits. What's our first don't?
Don't get emotionally attached to a machine or start thinking it owes you something. Remember, slots are driven by those random number generators. There will be ups and downs, so try to stay calm, enjoy the ride, and don't let emotions dictate your bets.
That's excellent advice. It's easy to get caught up in the moment, but keeping a cool head is key. What else should we be doing?
Do you consider playing higher denominations if your budget allows? Machines with higher denominations often have higher payout percentages, which means you have the potential to win bigger sums, though they also require larger bets.
So high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
What's our next don't?
Don't overextend yourself. If you're on a tight budget, stick to lower denomination machines. It's about having fun and staying within your comfort zone, not stressing over your finances.
Words to live by. What else should we keep in mind?
DO use cash whenever possible. It helps you keep track of your spending more effectively than using credits or a player's card. It's easier to visualize how much you're actually spending when you see those bills disappearing.
That's a great tip for staying grounded. And what should we avoid?
Don't get lured in by overly complicated games with tons of bells and whistles. Sometimes the simpler the game, the better. Choose machines with themes and features you enjoy, but make sure you understand the rules, payouts, and features before you start spinning. The goal is to have fun and make informed decisions, not get lost in a maze of confusing rules.
Simple is often best, especially when you're dealing with a game of chance. What else should we keep in mind?
Always play for fun. Choose machines with themes and features you enjoy. Slots are a form of entertainment, so make sure you're having a good time, win or lose.
Absolutely. And speaking of different ways to play, let's compare online slots to land-based slots in our next segment.
Sounds good to me.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Welcome back to Gambling Flow. We're in the middle of an exciting deep dive into the world of slots with the amazing Fiona Blake. Before the break, we covered a lot of ground debunking myths, talking strategy, and exploring key features. Now let's shift gears and compare the two main ways to play online slots versus land-based slots. Fiona, as an expert, what are your thoughts on this?
Both online and land-based slots have their unique advantages and appeal to different types of players.
Right.
Online slots, for example, offer unparalleled convenience and variety.
Yeah.
You can play them anytime, anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection. No need to dress up, travel to a casino, or worry about crowds.
That's right. You can be in your pajamas, sipping your coffee, and spinning those reels. And the variety is incredible. Online casinos often have hundreds, even thousands of different slot games to choose from, catering to every taste and preference.
Exactly. You've got classic three-reel slots,
Yeah.
modern video slots with dazzling graphics and immersive storylines,
Right.
progressive jackpots that can reach life-changing sums.
Everything in between.
It's like a slot machine paradise.
The choice is really overwhelming,
Yeah,
in a good way.
in a good way. And let's not forget about the bonuses and promotions that online casinos often offer.
Right.
You can snag free spins,
Yes.
match bonuses, cashback offers, and other perks that can really boost your bankroll and extend your playing time.
Absolutely. Online casinos are incredibly competitive, so they're constantly vying for players with these generous offers.
Right.
It's definitely worth shopping around and comparing bonuses
Yeah.
before you choose an online casino.
So convenience, variety, and bonuses, those are some serious perks for online slots. But what about the social aspect? Some people might argue that land-based casinos offer a more immersive and social experience. What are your thoughts on that?
Land-based casinos certainly have a unique atmosphere with all the lights, sounds, and excitement. There's a certain energy and buzz that you just can't replicate online.
Yeah.
And there's something special about the camaraderie you can experience with fellow players.
Especially when someone hits a big win.
Oh yeah, those celebratory cheers are contagious. It's like everyone in the casino shares in that moment of excitement.
Exactly. But for some players, online slots might be a better fit.
Okay,
They offer a more private and controlled environment where you can focus on the game without distractions.
that makes sense. It's all about personal preference and what you're looking for in a gambling experience. Now let's talk about how technology has transformed the world of slots, both online and in those dazzling brick-and-mortar casinos.
Oh, the advancements have been incredible. From the early days of simple mechanical machines to today's sophisticated digital wonders, technology has completely revolutionized the slot machine experience.
What are some of the most significant changes you've seen?
Well, think about the graphics and sound effects. Today's slot machines, both online and in land-based casinos, are like mini-movies.
Right.
With stunning visuals, immersive soundtracks, and engaging storylines, they've become much more interactive, too, with bonus rounds that feel like video games complete with animated sequences, skill-based challenges, and even choose-your-own-adventure elements.
I've seen some slots with storylines so intricate I almost forget I'm gambling.
Exactly. And it's not just about the visual and audio elements. The gameplay itself has become more sophisticated with innovative features like cascading reels, expanding wilds, megaways, and cluster pays that offer tons of ways to win.
Those sound amazing. Can you explain a few of those features?
Of course, cascading reels, for example, are a popular feature where winning symbols disappear and are replaced by new symbols, potentially creating chain reactions of wins. Expanding wilds can stretch to cover entire reels, increasing your chances of hitting a winning combination. Megaways slots offer thousands or even hundreds of thousands of ways to win on each spin by changing the number of symbols that appear on each reel. And Cluster pays award wins for forming groups of matching symbols regardless of their position on the reels.
So it's not just about lining up three cherries anymore. The possibilities are endless. And let's not forget about the role of smartphones and improved internet connectivity in fueling the popularity of online slots.
Mobile gaming has exploded in recent years, and online slots have been a major beneficiary. Now you can spin those reels anytime, anywhere with just a few taps on your phone. Whether you're commuting, waiting in line, or just relaxing at home, you can access your favorite slot games with ease.
Talk about convenience.
Yes.
But Fiona, amidst all this technological wizardry, how can players be sure that the games are fair?
That's a great question, and it's where those RNGs we talked about earlier come into play. Random number generators have become even more advanced and sophisticated, ensuring that the outcome of each spin is truly random and unpredictable. Reputable online casinos and land-based casinos are rigorously tested to ensure that their RNGs are functioning properly and that the games are fair.
So players can rest assured that the games are on the up and up.
Absolutely. And speaking of technology, we should also mention how data analytics and gamification are being used to enhance the player experience.
What do you mean by that?
Well, online casinos are using data to track player behavior and preferences, which allows them to offer personalized recommendations and tailored promotions. If you tend to favor certain types of slots or play at a particular pace, they might suggest similar games or offer you bonuses that align with your playing style.
So it's like having a personal slot concierge.
In a way, yes. And gamification is another interesting trend. This involves incorporating game-like elements into the casino experience, such as points badges, leaderboards, and challenges. It's a way to make gambling more fun and engaging, while also encouraging players to stay active and loyal.
So it's not just about winning money, it's about the overall experience.
Exactly. Casinos, both online and land-based, are realizing that players are looking for more than just the thrill of the gamble. They want an immersive and entertaining experience that keeps them coming back for more.
Now let's circle back to the concept of RTP, or Return to Player Fiona. Can you remind our listeners what this is and why it's important?
Of course, RTP, or return to player, is a percentage that indicates the average amount of money a slot machine is expected to pay back to players over a long period of time. So, for example, if a slot machine has an RTP of 97%, it means that theoretically, for every $100 wagered on that machine, players can expect to win back $97 over time.
So it's like a long-term average.
Exactly. And it's important to emphasize that RTP is a theoretical value based on statistical probabilities. It doesn't guarantee that you'll win back a specific percentage of your money every time you play.
Got it. So RTP is a useful metric for comparing different slot machines, but it's not a guarantee of short-term wins.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that slot machines are games of chance. The outcome of each spin is determined by random number generators, so there's no way to predict when you'll win or lose.
Speaking of winning, is there any secret trick to hitting those winning spins?
I wish there was. Unfortunately, there's no magic formula or secret handshake that guarantees you'll win at slots. As I mentioned, the outcome of each spin is completely random.
So it really comes down to luck.
To a large extent, yes. However, we've talked about some strategies that can help you increase your chances of winning, such as choosing machines with higher RTPs, taking advantage of bonuses and promotions, and managing your bankroll wisely.
So while you can't control the outcome of each spin, you can control your approach to the game.
Absolutely. And remember, the most important tip of all is to play for fun. Slot machines are meant to be entertaining, so choose games that you enjoy and play within your budget.
Great advice, Fiona. I think we've covered a lot of ground today, from debunking common myths to exploring the latest technological advancements in the world of slots.
It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It really has been fascinating, Fiona. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to ask you for any final words of wisdom for our listeners as we bring this episode to a close. What are those essential pieces of advice that you can leave our listeners with to help them navigate the world of slots responsibly?
It has been a great conversation, and I hope everyone listening has really gained some valuable insights into this exciting world. As we part ways, I want to emphasize that whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, the key to a truly enjoyable slot experience is finding that sweet spot between fun and responsible play. Always remember to set those limits for yourself, both in terms of time and money.
Right.
Decide how much you're comfortable spending before you even start spinning,
Yep.
and treat that amount as entertainment money, not funds you can't afford to lose.
That's such crucial advice. It's easy to get caught up in those flashing lights and the excitement of the game, but setting those boundaries and sticking to them is so essential for a positive and sustainable experience.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to explore and experiment. The world of slots is constantly evolving with new games and innovative features popping up all the time. So try different themes, volatility levels, betting strategies to find what suits your style and preferences.
Like a culinary adventure for slot enthusiasts.
Exactly.
Sample the menu, discover new flavors, and find your perfect match.
Exactly. And most importantly, remember to savor those thrilling moments when the reels align in your favor. Celebrate those wins, big or small, and don't let the occasional losses dampen your spirits. Slots are a game of chance, and the unpredictable nature of the game is part of what makes it so exciting.
Beautifully said, Fiona. It's been an absolute pleasure having you share your expertise with us today. Your insights have been invaluable.
The pleasure was all mine, Russell. I always enjoy delving into those intricacies of slots and sharing my knowledge with those passionate players.
And to all our listeners out there, thank you for tuning in to Gambling Flow, your daily dose of all things gambling. I'm Russell Kane.
And I'm Fiona Blake.
We'll be back tomorrow with another exciting episode. But for now, if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to hit that subscribe button, leave us a like and a comment, and share this episode with your fellow gambling enthusiasts. Until next time, may your spins be lucky and your jackpots plentiful.